Southern California, residential electrical panels must comply with specific code requirements. Let's review these key aspects to ensure safety and compliance. Firstly, consider the number of circuits. A main load panel should not have more than 6 circuits per phase. Secondly, grounding is crucial. The panel must have a proper grounding system, including a ground rod and grounding wire connected to the neutral bus. Thirdly, all circuit breakers must be rated for the appropriate amperage and voltage. Fourthly, arc fault circuit interrupters, or FSIs, are required on all circuits serving bedrooms and certain other areas. Fifthly, the panel must be labeled with its manufacturer's name, model number, and other relevant information. Now let's consider a typical panel assessment. Often, panels are found to be in violation of the code. One common issue is the number of circuits exceeding the allowed 6 circuits per phase. Another is inadequate grounding, where the panel lacks a proper grounding system. Sometimes circuit breakers are not rated for the appropriate amperage, and frequently FSIs are missing, especially in required areas. Leaving a panel in a non-compliant state poses several safety issues. Overloading is a major concern, especially with more than 6 circuits per phase, increasing the risk of fire. An improper grounding system can increase the risk of electrical shock. Overloaded circuits or improperly rated circuit breakers can cause electrical fires. Without FSIs, arc faults can go undetected and potentially lead to fires. To make a panel code compliant, several steps are recommended. The most effective solution is often to replace the entire panel with a new one that meets the current code requirements. This typically requires a licensed electrician to perform the work. Another option is to add a sub-panel to distribute the load more evenly. A licensed electrician would need to install and wire the sub-panel. If replacing the panel is not feasible, some circuits can be rewired to distribute the load more evenly and reduce the number of circuits on each phase. Non-compliance can lead to several consequences. If a building permit is required for the sale of the property, it may be denied due to the non-compliant panel. Some insurance companies may not provide coverage for homes with non-compliant electrical systems. The panel poses a safety hazard to the occupants of the home. The seller could be held liable if an accident or injury occurs due to the non-compliant panel. Let's delve deeper into each of these aspects, starting with the number of circuits. The 6-circuit rule for main lug panels is designed to prevent overloading. Each circuit adds to the overall load on the panel. Exceeding the limit can cause the main breaker to trip frequently, or worse, overheat the wiring, leading to a fire. When assessing a panel, carefully count the number of circuits connected to each phase. If you find more than 6 on either phase, it's a clear violation. Next, grounding is an essential safety measure. It provides a path for fault current to return to the source, tripping the breaker and preventing electrical shock. A proper grounding system includes a ground rod driven into the earth and a grounding wire connecting the panel's neutral bus to the ground rod. The absence of a ground rod or a disconnected grounding wire compromises the entire grounding system. Circuit breakers are designed to protect circuits from overcurrent. They are rated for specific amperage and voltage. Using a breaker with the wrong rating can be dangerous. If the breaker is rated too high, it won't trip when the circuit is overloaded, potentially causing a fire. If it's rated too low, it will trip unnecessarily. Check that all circuit breakers are correctly sized for the circuits they protect. FSIs are a relatively recent addition to the electrical code, but they provide an important layer of protection. Arc faults are dangerous electrical discharges that can occur when wires become damaged or insulation breaks down. FSIs are designed to detect these arc faults and quickly shut off the circuit, preventing fires. They are required in bedrooms and other areas where people are most vulnerable. The absence of FSIs in these areas is a code violation. A label panel is important for identification and safety. The label provides information about the manufacturer, model number, voltage, and amperage ratings. This information is essential for troubleshooting and repairs. If the label is missing or illegible, it's difficult to determine the panel's specifications. Replacing a panel is often the best way to ensure code compliance. New panels are designed to meet the latest safety standards and can accommodate modern electrical loads. When replacing a panel, it's important to choose a panel with the appropriate size and capacity for the home's electrical needs. A licensed electrician can help with this selection. Adding a sub-panel is another option for distributing the load. A sub-panel is a smaller panel that is fed from the main panel. It can be used to add additional circuits or to separate certain loads from the main panel. This can help to reduce the number of circuits on each phase of the main panel. Rewiring circuits is a more complex solution, but it can be effective in some cases. It involves moving circuits from one phase to another to balance the load. This can be done by a licensed electrician. Non-compliance with electrical codes can have serious consequences. A building permit may be denied if the electrical system is not up to code. This can delay or even prevent the sale of the property. Insurance companies may not provide coverage for homes with non-compliant electrical systems. This can leave the homeowner financially vulnerable in the event of a fire or other electrical accident. Most importantly, a non-compliant electrical system poses a safety hazard to the occupants of the home. Electrical shock, fires, and other accidents can occur if the electrical system is not properly installed and maintained. The seller of the home could be held liable if an accident or injury occurs due to the non-compliant panel. This liability can extend to property damage, personal injury, or even death. To summarize, ensuring electrical panel code compliance in Southern California is crucial for safety and legal reasons. Understanding the code requirements, identifying potential violations, and taking corrective action are essential steps. By addressing issues like the number of circuits, grounding, circuit breaker ratings, and of size, you can protect your home and its occupants from electrical hazards. Remember to consult with a licensed electrician for any electrical work to ensure it's done safely and correctly. Consider these points. Firstly, understand the electrical load. Before making any changes to your electrical panel, it's important to understand the electrical load of your home. This includes the total amount of electricity that your home uses at any given time. You can determine your home's electrical load by adding up the wattage of all the appliances and devices that you use. Secondly, consult with a qualified electrician. Electrical work can be dangerous, so it's always best to consult with a qualified electrician before making any changes to your electrical panel. An electrician can help you determine the best way to bring your panel up to code and can perform the work safely and correctly. Thirdly, obtain the necessary permits. In many areas, you will need to obtain a permit before making any changes to your electrical panel. This is to ensure that the work is done safely and up to code. Your electrician can help you obtain the necessary permits. Fourthly, turn off the power. Before working on your electrical panel, be sure to turn off the power to the panel at the main breaker. This will help to prevent electrical shock. Fifthly, use the proper tools and equipment. When working on your electrical panel, be sure to use the proper tools and equipment. This includes insulated screwdrivers, pliers, and wire strippers. Sixthly, inspect your work. After you have finished working on your electrical panel, inspect your work carefully to make sure that everything is connected properly. This will help to prevent electrical problems in the future. Seventhly, test your work. After you have inspected your work, test it to make sure that everything is working properly. You can do this by turning on the power to the panel and testing the circuits with a multimeter. Eighthly, document your work. Keep a record of all the work that you have done on your electrical panel. This will be helpful if you ever need to troubleshoot electrical problems in the future. Ninthly, stay safe. Always follow safety precautions when working on your electrical panel. This will help to prevent electrical shock and other injuries. The NEC, or National Electrical Code, provides specific guidelines and regulations for electrical installations, including panel upgrades. Familiarizing yourself with the NEC requirements relevant to your project is crucial for ensuring compliance and safety. For example, NEC Table 310.15b16 provides ampacity ratings for conductors based on their size and insulation type. Using conductors with the correct ampacity is essential for preventing overheating and fires. The NEC also specifies requirements for overcurrent protection devices, such as circuit breakers and fuses. These devices must be properly sized to protect the conductors and equipment they serve. Additionally, the NEC addresses grounding and bonding requirements to minimize the risk of electrical shock. A proper grounding system provides a low impedance path for fault current to return to the source, tripping the overcurrent protection device. Bonding ensures that all metal parts of the electrical system are at the same potential, reducing the risk of shock. Understanding these fundamental principles and consulting the NEC can help ensure safe and compliant electrical installation. When assessing an existing electrical panel, pay close attention to the following. Look for signs of overheating, such as discolored or melted insulation. Check for loose connections, which can cause arcing and overheating. Ensure that all circuit breakers are properly labeled and that the labels correspond to the circuits they serve. Verify that the panel has adequate space for future expansion. If the panel is already full, it may be necessary to upgrade to a larger panel. Inspect the panel for any signs of water damage or corrosion. Water can compromise the insulation and cause electrical shorts. Look for any signs of rodent infestation. Rodents can chew on wires and damage the insulation. Addressing these issues promptly can prevent more serious problems in the future. When choosing a new electrical panel, consider the following factors. The size of the panel is determined by the number of circuits it can accommodate. Choose a panel with enough circuits to meet your current needs and allow for future expansion. The amperage rating of the panel determines the amount of current it can safely handle. Choose a panel with an amperage rating that is sufficient for your home's electrical load. The type of panel depends on your home's electrical system. The two main types of panels are single-phase and three-phase. Single-phase panels are typically used in residential applications, while three-phase panels are used in commercial and industrial applications. The brand of panel is a matter of personal preference. However, it's important to choose a reputable brand that is known for quality and reliability. Remember that electrical work should only be performed by qualified individuals.